Okay, example 2, we are going to graph this parabola again with all key points. We have a positive 2 for A, so we know this is going to open up. We're going to get a parabola like that. So A equals 2, B equals negative 13, C equals 15. And again, this is our y-intercept right here. So for our vertex, negative B, so the opposite of B is positive 13 over 2A. So we get 13 over 4, which is fine. We have lots of fractions as our answers all the time. There are a lot more fractions than there are whole numbers or integers, so it's perfectly fine to get a fraction. To get y, we can convert this to a decimal. So 4 goes into 13, 4 goes into 12 3 times, with a quarter left over. So you can plug that right in to get your y value. We're going to plug it in here and here. So 2 times 3.25 squared minus 13 times 3.25 plus 15. I already did this on my calculator to save us a little bit of time. That turns out to be negative 6.125. So our vertex is 3.25, negative 6.125, which we will just estimate when we put it on the graph. Our y-intercept is 15. Here's our vertex, and then this is our line of symmetry right here. So the only thing we have left to find are the x-intercepts. How are we going to find the x-intercepts? Hopefully you said factor. So we are going to factor 2x squared minus 13x plus 15. If you remember, when we have a coefficient in front of the x squared term, we multiply those together to get 30. What times what is 30? That adds up to negative 13, negative 10, and negative 3. So we are keeping these when we go to our box, or you can factor by grouping if you want. And we are going to get 2x squared minus 10x minus 3x plus 15. Factoring here, we get 2x. So factoring here, it's a negative in the front, so we want to take out a negative 3. So here, what comes out is just an x. Here, again, this is a negative, so we want to take out a negative 5. So we get 0 equals 2x minus 3, x minus 5. So we're going to have 2 x-intercepts. What we're going to do is solve each of these. 2x minus 3 equals 0. It's not the best pen, so let me switch back. Add 3. We get 2x equals 3. Divide by 2. X equals 3 over 2. So one of our x-intercepts is 3 over 2, comma 0. Or you could write 1.5. This one's easier. What can we plug in there to get 0? 5 minus 5 is 0. So 5, comma 0. That is our other key point. So when we graph it, which I have a separate graph again, we are going to put our y-intercept, oops, here's the proper way it should be. Our y-intercept is all the way up here at 15. Our vertex is at 3.25, 1, 2, 3, and about a quarter, negative 6.125, so we're just estimating. And we'll label it so we know 3.25, negative 6.125. And then our x-intercepts were 1.5 and 5. So this is going to be our parabola. Our line of symmetry is going to be right here at x equals 3.25. And then when we graph it, this is going to be a little bit trickier just because the way I set up my board here. And there is our parabola that we remember opened up. 15 is our y-intercept. Here are 2 x-intercepts, which I'll label 1.5, 0, 5, 0. So that is the wrap up for graphing quadratics. And remember, quadratics means your highest degree is squared. Highest degree is 2, so you have an x squared. Ax squared plus bx plus c is our standard form.